Welcome. This is Bodger1234 of Airwolf Incorporated, the game EVE Online. Today I'm going to talk about orcas and porpoises. First and foremost, let's talk about what the purpose of the orca is and/or the porpoise. Your job is to lead a mining fleet where you're going in with a bunch of mining ships, such as mining barges, mining frigates, even mining exhumers, and you provide them with bonuses so that they can mine rocks that are farther away, mine rocks faster. If you're in danger, you can put shield boosts on them so that they are stronger in battle. And you also can do things like, once the ore comes in, you can compress it so it takes up less space, so you can stay in space longer and allow them to mine longer. And this same purpose, you can do the same thing with the porpoise that you can with the orca. The orca, however, is got much larger capacity. In the case of the orca, the mining hold for the orca is like 187,000 cubic meters for me. It's going to be different per person. You need to have the, hold on a second, that's information requirements. Yeah, you need, I don't know which one, Mining Foreman 5. I don't know which one is required here. Probably Industrial Command Ship. That's what it's got to be. So the higher you have Industrial Command Ship, the larger your mining hold is going to be. You're also going to have a large fleet hangar. I believe in my case, when I'm running the Orca, my fleet hangar is 40,000 cubic meters. And what this is used for is when the mining ships fill up their own ore holds, they will then transfer their ore from their ore holds to your fleet hangar, and then you take it from the fleet hangar and put it into the ore hold, perhaps compressing it along the way. This advantage that the Orca has is big deal. Okay, being able to take the larger numbers here makes flying in a fleet so much more fun. It's much more effective, quicker. You can mine a lot quicker, and that's good. But the downside is the Orca replacement cost. If I lost this Orca, it's saying here it'll cost me $2.1 billion. It probably would cost me somewhere between 2.5 and 2.8 billion to replace this ship completely. So it's a very expensive ship, but it is so awesome, so sweet. So again, you would become the fleet commander in mining fleet. Each of the miners that are with you in your fleet would stay within 2,500 meters of you. That way they can open your fleet hangar. And they'll open their fleet hangar so they can take their ore and put it into your ore hold. So the absolute sweetest combination is an Orca with a bunch of coveters, because the coveters are the fastest mining barges, or hulks, which are the fastest of the mining exhumers. And so with those ships in combination with your bonuses that you put out, you can mine things very quickly. My Orca and two hulks, because I have 3 accounts, so 2 of them are my hulk drivers, 1 is my Orca driver. I will go into a quiet system, and I would take an entire asteroid belt in, say, 3 hours, maybe 4, and just completely consume it. I would compress it, and actually I could start moving on to another belt, and I could probably take 2 belts in a day using this mechanism. And with the ore compressor, I could then compress that ore, and I wouldn't even need to go in until probably somewhere in the middle of the second belt, or maybe at the end of the second belt, I can't remember. Then I do finally get full, but I could store a lot of compressed ore in the Orca. I mean, a lot. So it is well worth it to have one and an ore compressor. So how does the ore compressor work? Well, first of all, you have to have a large industrial core. There's a large industrial core 1 and large industrial core 2. I'm maxed out on most of my skills, but I don't have enough for the industrial core 2. Here, let me go look it up here. In large industrial core 2, I click it, and I'm almost 20 days out if I wanted one. They are very expensive, and that's why I haven't really pushed it really hard. And all I need it for is ore compression, and it does a perfect job for that. So I have the large industrial core 1 and a large ore compressor 2. So what I would typically do is the ore compressor uses fuel. Actually, it's the industrial ore core that uses the fuel. And the fuel I use, there's a fuel bay on the Orca, also on the Porpoise. And I'll show the Porpoise to you in a minute. It has a large, I think you can hold like 32,000, whatever, cubic meters of fuel. And the fuel it uses is heavy water. Now, heavy water is a byproduct of ice. You can buy heavy water directly on the market, or you can go mine ice and then reprocess it and just take the heavy water from that and put it in your ore hold. That's often what I do. I'll just go mine for an hour or so, and that'll give me more than enough heavy water for me to operate my Orca for a very long time. Now, when I do operate the Orca, since I don't really care about some of it, because the one thing that when you have the industrial core live, it does give bonuses on top of your bonuses here from the mining foreman burst. Let's see. If the same attributes would be subject to all right, I am not sure. Okay, I apologize. I should have looked this up before. It does improve some of the bonuses. I purposely don't use the industrial core for the bonuses, but you can make that decision for yourself. The cost of operating the industrial core is a lot of heavy water, so you have to make sure it's worth it to you. But when I have it in operation, I only care about the compression. So I will then turn the ore. I would fill up my mining hole completely, and then I would turn on my industrial core, turn on my compressor, compress the entire mining hold in one operation, shut down the the ore compressor, and then shut down the industrial core. So it limits my amount of fuel that I burn. But then all that entire mining hold, which had 187,000 cubic meters of ore compressed down, can then fit in my normal cargo hold. And, one belt, I don't even, I think I can completely hold an entire belt between my cargo hold and my mining hold, but very little in the actual mining hold. So I don't remember the numbers. It's been a while since I've done a lot of high-sec mining, but it's just super duper sweet. Now, like I said, this is the ore compressor. You can buy an equivalent ice compressor. So if you're mining ice, the industrial core could then compress all that ice, and you can stay out in the ice belts for a lot longer and just keep compressing the ice as it comes in. Or like I do it in a bulk operation. It's up to you how you want to do it, but it is the best feature of the Orca. The second best feature, of course, is the size of your holds, but the best feature is the compressor. It is well worth it. So that being said, the little sister to the Orca is the Porpoise. There we go. I'm trying to activate it. I'm actually sitting in a Porpoise right now. Okay, I'm going to hit this button. Okay, go away. I've activated it, so when I hit this, it should bring up my Porpoise. There we go. Whale of a tail is my Porpoise. Notice it looks like a Noctis, but or is it the other way around? Noctis looks like a Porpoise. So you tell me. All right, I have this one configured for just mining bonuses. I'm actually mining. I operate in a wormhole, so I just take advantage of the bonuses. I'm not as much interested in the compressor, but that's just me in this particular scenario. But I am going to show you some of the features of it. I have a fuel bay. It has 4,800 cubic meters, and so I will put heavy water in there if I were using my compressor. I know the compressor has an ore compressor. I do not know if it has an equivalent ice compressor. You'll have to research that. The fleet hangar has only 5,000 cubic meters, whereas the Orca has 40,000 cubic meters. The mining hold only holds 62,000 cubic meters, whereas the Orca has 187,000, I think, give or take. And but it is a lot cheaper. Look, even though it says the price is 178,000, the replacement cost is probably about 225 million ISK. That's a lot cheaper than an Orca. Keep that in mind. If you're going into a riskier environment and you want to carry a fleet miner, carry the Porpoise, not the Orca. And in a lot of places, you can't even take the Orca because, you can't even take an Orca into a wormhole unless it's one of the large wormholes. But I still would not recommend that because, 2.5 billion, 3 billion versus, 180 million to 200 million. Yeah, it's not even a joke. But since the ore holes in the fleet hangars are smaller, it is a little bit more of a pain in the neck. But it's so much cheaper. I mean, these are throwaway ships in comparison with the amount of expensive ore you're going to take out of that wormhole or the expensive ore you're going to take out of that low-sec system. It can pay for itself very quickly. So consider that. So the last thing I want to talk about is, let me make this larger. The perfect Orca pilot. So I showed you some of the fittings that you could have on the Orca, but the key really is the Orca pilot. To maximize the benefits he gives to his miners, he needs these 5 skills: mining director 5, cybernetics 5, leadership 5, command burst specialist 5, and industrial command ships 5. That gives the maximum bonuses you can to the various burstings that you can give so that your miners get a lot of benefits. But you can also get this implant, mining form mine link, which is fairly expensive. You've got 50 million, give or take, I may be wrong. But you put that implant in, mix it with these skills. These skills are going to cost you a long time in training, but they're well worth it. So if you're going to be the Orca pilot or the Porpoise pilot, you need those skills. Certainly get them all up to level 3, but from there on, start working them towards level 5. So each level you go up, the more bursting skills or bursting buffs you give to your pilots. So that's Orca and Porpoise piloting in a nutshell. Have a nice day.